All right, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, but now we are back to being live. Take a look here. Fine. A bit on better. And we're going to run the jelly cam. The boys are very sad right now, as are the rest of us. But we're going to go ahead, do our thing. Fine. Alrighty. Let's get back to this map. Bad thing was when the power went out on the computer, I lost some of the stuff that I did. So I got that back in, and we're going to see what's V36 and move forward. 4 wooden tables and two small wooden coffers atop each one. That should be easy. Tables. You really want to drop some books, apparently. Get the snap to grid gone. Table. Do these. One. Let's take that one off. We're going to scale it down just a little bit. Let's figure out what we want to put for coffers. All right, is that everything that's in here? Hanging on the wall opposite the door is a beautiful golden shield. Any way to represent that? Let's see. Armor. Well, see, that's like it's on the floor, so that's not good. Maybe decor. So, does anything here look like a not seeing a shield, but you know, we could go through. Let's do this. Let's take the tags off. Kind of like looking to see if we can find. We need is like a half dome or something sitting on the side. Most of these things are really. The shield is. Oh, look, there's a shield thrown on the floor. Saw blade. What do we have here? Sample Shrimpy. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Like, what are these? Cannonball. The cannonballs are quite a bit Oh no, I guess they just drew them like that. They're scaled down properly. Really not that worried about it. Kind of like to have that, but let's just take a look. Combat. Wrecked shit, dead people. All kinds of cool. That's a bow. That's all kinds of weapons we could throw down if we have something like that in there. I do like finding setup. Need to find more assets, or I keep saying I'm gonna do it, but we'll see. Or just go in and make our own habits. Or I mean assets. Dungeon. Kind of funny because a lot of these things go across building asset. Sure, that's not going to be anything decorative. For your furnishing. Yep. What about miscellaneous stuff? We should put some bellows and stuff over with our forge that's in the other building we did. I think what I'm going to do, I might even redo a couple of these maps that I've done since I've learned a few things that make life easier in here. It's really decorations. It's not going to fall under furniture. What is this Haku set? Military. Dead people. Dead people. See dead people. Up with that. Living quarters. Something decorative would be awesome. You know, it just seems like there's all kinds of stuff that I'm like, all that. I'm gonna have to do. Pretty sure when we did all, we found. We're gonna take our time. I mean, my issue is that I like to be a completionist, even when I'm doing stuff like this. Good deal. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's path material. I didn't. I did the pattern shape tool. Wonder if there's like, if there's something metallic, we can just draw the shield on the wall. Kind of metallic. Rock isn't. I mean, I guess what we could do. What else? The terrain brush, that doesn't give the option of doing the, draw the lines. The water brush does, but that doesn't help us. Path tool isn't going to objects one. Tempted to they gave that. Limestone. Close. Oh, these tiles are nice. We might mess with that on another map. So I think we're going to have to do it. So we're going to create like a little dome here, kind of like we did up there. The pedestal. See how that goes. Let's pick a random pattern. Not going to be perfect. Beautiful. Going to be. So, you know what? It doesn't really look like a shield, but we're going to put that there and leave it there until we can get the gumption up to maybe make some assets that would match that kind of stuff. So V36 is done. 8 is done. 26 is done. That's got the statue in there. It'll be like an angel-like statue, and that looks like it has wings, so that's good. Supposed to be a demon in its angelic form. We've got that done. That. We're done. I do believe we're done. Oh man, you know what? Good thing I didn't stop. Because I think this is where we didn't, when we had a little crash, it didn't save our door. We need to go through and make sure our door. We're going to be missing some. You know what else we need to do? Save it in a while. Doors are in. Doors not in. Doors right there. Lamb. Exist. Secret doors. Then we're going to take a look at the map without the background on there just to see. I think close to golden. Put this down there, our the blockade. I really like the water effect. I wish it would transfer over to the tabletop we're using. That would be really cool, but it doesn't. But you know what? Save. Now let's export. This is where we crashed last time. At 100 pixels, lighting on, grid on, export. This is, what's this freaking thing called? Under the Villa. No crash so far. And tell you what. Oh, curious. I think that's No, okay. So here's what our map looks like. Hold on, I need to answer this. Hello? Bullshit phone call. Let's take a look at how our map looks with what we've done. Doesn't look terrible. I think I can live with that. Do want to take a look. I'm noticing one thing on there. Wondering. We're missing a door. I think. Nope, that's a secret door. Okay. Good. So I don't know, what does everybody think? I think it looks not bad. JPEG it. And under the villa. Opus Legion, how's it going? That is a JPEG. See if it crashes on us. No crash is a good thing. You know, I'm having fun. I've been enjoying messing with DungeonDraft. I used to use what was it? Mapmaker Studio or something like that. It was a Steam program. I mean, it has more assets, but I'm liking this a lot. So thinking we might be switching over to this one for our map making. I mean, both of them are cheap programs. So, I mean, this was $20 because it's still in beta. But if it does what the other program they did happens, most it'll do is go to 30 probably. So, it's definitely worth it. There's a good community making things, and I'm probably going to go in and I mean, there are assets that I really would have liked to have had, and path tools that I would like to have had. So I might go in and make some PNG files for the assets I'd like to see that I don't have, and draw them out since I've got my tablet here for drawing and sketching and stuff. I haven't been putting it to use for a while since I stopped painting and everything. So maybe this would be a good reason for me to get on there, start making some assets that I don't see that would make me happy. You just start getting lazy when it comes to some of this. So let's turn off the trace image. And I wish that. See, I really do like the water effects and stuff they have in here. I do like that. It'd be nice if it would transfer over. I'm hoping the VTT file will transfer it over. I might even, while we're sitting here, try and pull it into the program and see what it looks like. But I haven't made maps in probably about 2 years. And I'm playing campaigns that it pisses me off that Wizards has gotten. I mean, Wizards has been lazy. Let's be honest. They've been really lazy with their content. With let's reproduce all these old dungeons and make a book. That was Yawning Portal. Let's reproduce this adventure and make a book. Strahd and how many other ones. The recycled content is kind of getting old. Avernus, I think, will be fun. but I need maps for that too. And that's what I'm doing right now because I don't like that hand-drawn black and white lazy look. I like being able to, I don't know about you, but for me, like if I have players walk into this room and the description says there are 4 wardrobes in here, I like having the wardrobes in there. Or like in here, there's a summoning circle in the middle with candles burning. Or actually, the candles are out in here. That's why I don't have the lighting effect. I like for them to be able to see, especially now where you can't. I mean, the players I play with on Wednesdays, which we're not going to play tonight, I'm still dealing with losing my little girl, my 15-year-old Jack Russell that we had to have put down on Sunday, and I'm still dealing with that. I can't get in the mindset to do anything. My plan this week was to play The Last of Us, and then play The Last of Us 2. And I don't even think I could sit down and deal with, the first scene in The Last of Us when the daughter dies, that always bothered me. I mean, right now I know I would just crush me. So I'm going to have to hold off a week or two before I'm going to be able to play the games I want to play again. But that's what, up there it says the Jelly Cam, the boys are down there right now. They're depressed because she would be in here bullying them. My little girl would just stand there. If she wanted to lay on that bed, she'd stare at Thor until he moved. More inert. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. So I mean, I think everybody in the house is just not the same, not having that crazy girl bossing us around. But you know what I mean? I like to be able to walk in and say, hey, there's beds, there's all this. They can see where all the stuff is, if the cultists are in here. And it's not a matter of, oh, well, I go here. And it's like, oh, you really can't go there because there's stuff there. I like to be able to show that where the stuff is so they know where they can't go. And, I don't like that line art design that they've been doing. I know they probably get it cheap and easy, and cheap and easy isn't always good. But I really, really am enjoying Dungeon Draft. Like I said, I want to see, we're going to export the VTT file and pull that into Foundry. In fact, let me get Foundry started up so we can do that. And that's another thing with Dungeon Draft. One of the nice things here is we are able to import directly from a Dungeon Draft file into Foundry, and all these walls and doors and stuff that I've drawn, your line of sight, it automatically draws your line of sight walls in there since there's something that allows it to happen with Dungeon Draft. And I'm really excited about that. Being lazy with your stuff. Well, I mean, I'm gonna update all this stuff real quick, and then I'm going to pull this over on the screen, and let's just see what I've got. And let me see if we can export one of these. It almost seems like one of these always crashes, but the VTT is what allows lighting and everything to come over. So come on, don't fail me now, baby. Makes me nervous. Oh, it didn't crash. But yep, that's the thing. Pulling in the line of sight walls, it's freaking huge. Let me run my updates here. But while this is updating, this is Foundry. And I mean, the beauty of Foundry, there are a couple things I really, really like about it. Number one, it's a one-time fee, $50, bam, done, lifetime license. So that's huge. It has the ability, if you have D&D Beyond, where you create your characters, you've got your books on there and everything, you can import directly into Foundry. So if players have characters, you can pull their characters from that into here. Like when you say, hey, you need to level your characters up. They go home, they do it. You can pull it up and pull it right in and level it. And all the equipment, any changes they make, it pulls right into here. As the DM, if you own all the books, you can set up a campaign on D&D Beyond and share your books out to them so that they're able to build their characters without putting the money out. If you have that, that's also huge. There, the ability for your players to be able to do all that stuff. Plus, you can pull the adventures in, which you'll be able to see once I see if there's an update available. Please don't be an update. Awesome. But like I've got my campaigns that I've set up that are test campaigns. What I'm working on right now is this campaign that I haven't started yet. I'm putting a group together and seeing how that's going to run. But and what I've got here, I've got Game Master, Game Master 2. You have both of those because you're going to run one instance of this inside of a Chrome window, and that's where you can go in and pull all your stuff in through D&D Beyond, which, I mean, that's huge too. All right. So, let's see. So here's Under the Villa. This is the map that comes in. I mean, I don't know about you, but I find this to be underwhelming. I just do. So that's why I went in and figured I would make something a little better. I do need to, I mean, I need a potbelly stove asset and a couple other things, so I'm going to probably sit down and draw those assets, said. But let's see. See down here, it has this DungeonDraft import. Click that. Let's do. I want to make sure because we're going to replace that one. So it is Under the Villa. We want the capitalization and everything to be the same. Here's Under the Villa. We're going to click it and hope everything's beautiful. Scene. Drag it up here. And have a look. Look at that. Our map came in. Oh, this is another thing. So I use Fantasy Grounds. And you see that? The game paused. Then we'll take a look at the map and see how everything looks and if it came in beautifully. I have a player on Fantasy Grounds that right now with Unity, it's not optimized. It's not optimized for anything. There's so many issues with it. Like if I click something, it may take 30 seconds for it to come up. Well, it's happening the same way for the players. Even though they're logging into my computer as a server, they will do it. Most of them are patient. Well, there's one player, I can hear through the mic, click, 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 click. I'm like, fucking stop clicking. And he doesn't stop clicking. And my system will crash because I'm basically getting DDoSed by all these freaking commands getting sent. And my thing starts saying not responding. Everything fucking blows up. Oh my God. It happened so many times in one night that character files got corrupted and it destroyed the campaign. We had to rebuild the characters. That's why I was so happy to go to this, because right here, game paused. He can click all night long. He can't do anything, send commands or anything else. And I'm excited. So let's look. Oh, that's a shame. I really was hoping the water effects would come in, but you know what? Map looks pretty nice. The lighting is working well. Should we bring a character in and see how it looks? Yeah, it's a guy I know. Guy I know. I mean, he'll get on a game with me and stuff. He's not technologically savvy, so you know that kind of drives me. Oh, you know what? Let's just create a stub character. Create a folder. We're gonna create a stub. Like I said, it's not a live campaign yet, so it doesn't matter. Actor, testy, character, bam. All right. So I believe we have line of sight set. Put him on the board. Lighting looks nice. So the line of sight works really well. Might need to make some minor light adjustments. Oh, you know what it's picking up? I know what it's doing. So he's able to see kind of down the hallway, but it's picking up the range on his sight, because that's built into these characters. So that's looking good. Pendensk. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome. So that is nice. It's picking up the range on the line of sight. Oh, what do you think? I think the map looks pretty nice. It's going to work out well. Now let's look at the stuff that matters. All right, so look, all my line of sight walls came in. I need to come in and make some minor adjustments to these walls like here, because there's some secret doors. So let me pull up my Under the Villa map. Let's see where these secret doors and stuff are. But I mean, before I was coming in and having to draw out all these freaking lines, because I would import the map. I put a different map up that I had downloaded, and then you've got to start drawing all this shit. So now I don't have to do that. I just have to draw the map. It really isn't a big deal, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's see how this will work. Let me just drop a secret door on there. Would. Let's see if that worked. He's there. Wall's still there, so that's going to be a minor problem. See if we can fix that. Get testy out of the way. Kill that. That worked. That's the simple fix. Not a simple fix. So, highlight, let's get rid of the secret door. Any Pathfinder streamers? Yeah, DungeonDraft is definitely worth it. Kill this wall. I'm going to do this the easy way. Take it easy, my friend. Let's start putting some walls in. Fuck. Take care of this wall. Delete. We're good. See, I think what it did, it picked up all the overlaps that I did. Put our secrets in. So that one is directly across from there. One. This one is directly across from the wall. I definitely say this is easier than the alternative. All right. So how many secret doors do we have to put in? 1, 2, 3. 3 more? That is a lot better than drawing every freaking door and wall on this map. So let's. This is the next one. Is that correct? That. Wall. Oh, Thor got up. He must have heard his mom. That door was across. There. Door. The wall in. I do like how the connection points work on this. Really nice. Is that the last of the secrets? That's 1, 2. Oh, got one up here. One, two. Let's test these. And I think we're done with our setup part. Secrets working. And beautiful. SD. Testy right here. Door. And door. See, and they won't be able to see this because it was drawn as a secret door. All right, we're good. Pretty impressed with this import. Very impressed. But we're going to setting configurations. Now, one thing you're gonna find that you want to do is I don't know about you, but I always have players that do things they should. So stuff like opening doors. Nope, not gonna let you do it. Why? Because you got players that they'll go up to the door and before they say, "Hey, is it locked?" they click that door, then it's open. You're like, "Wait, it was locked. You can't do that." I always turn off the whisper private messages. Because let's face it, the game master should be privy to whatever's going on. They're unhappy with the game master and want to leave, then that's their problem. All right, I tell you what. We're good. I think the next map we're going to do, I think this one's perfect. I think we're going to go in. We might redo these. There's some things that I'm not happy with. I didn't realize about the snap to grid. I need to fix those. I'm not sure. I might have sent the VTT files over to myself. If I did, then I'll be able to. I did these on another computer and then transferred and imported. I think I'd like to add lighting and stuff in here too, though. But we did that. We did under the villa. Did the Vanthampure villa. I started setting up the counters, stuff like this. They won't be able to see. These are like DM notes. Have all 3 levels set. I feel like that looks much nicer than the line art. The other one, low lantern under the villa. Oh yeah, dungeon head through. So that doesn't look too bad either. I had to set these up manually because I didn't know about the import module. Future. Grimcon! I just switched over to Foundry. Future, we're going to do all of our maps transfer into Foundry inside of DungeonDraft. So I am happy with the results of this map. I'm going to call that one done. Foundry is awesome. And if you're going to make your own maps, the integration between Foundry and DungeonDraft, like this map that I just did, I saved it as a VTT virtual tabletop file, imported it into Foundry, and all the walls that are drawn on there, doors, everything, automatically kicked in for the line of sight. And I don't know, were you in there when I had my sample character chugging around to test the secret doors and stuff? In the under the villa, this is just a stub character, but I set it up with lighting effects too, and the lighting effects move in. So, I think it sets a much nicer mood and everything in there, but all these doors transferred over automatically. So, I mean, that's freaking awesome. And the lighting effects coming in. I was excited about Foundry from the get-go. I mean, $50 one-time fee, it's awesome. The ability to bring your characters in from D&D Beyond, that's awesome. The ability to, I've imported the modules in from D&D Beyond. This is all imported in. Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, and I've pulled in the first 3 chapters. I mean, all I have to do at this point, like in this with the villa, I simply have to start going in here and dragging and dropping the stuff in and throwing the encounters in. You paid for the compendium and Roll20. See, I have Fantasy Grounds. Paid for most of the books on Fantasy Grounds, and I ended up, I had some of the books on Roll20, and I ended up, because Fantasy Grounds has been crashing like a son of a bitch with Unity. So I ended up buying the books on D&D Beyond, and working out well. So now, like with the lighting, let's see. I could turn lighting off. But I think I'm going to leave it on. Light source, light. I think I'm going to leave the light sources on. I think when I'm doing the maps, I'm going to need to make some of these light sources a little bigger, but I'm pretty happy with it. Mammoth Movester, thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Well, here's the thing, you can just, I imported the VTT file so that this stuff could come in. Now, I could draw the maps out and not worry about putting the lighting in. In fact, I could even export it without the lighting turned on, and then it would just be straight up line of sight. So, that's another option I may do. I may do a lighting off import and see how that looks. Right now I'm futzing with the mapping software, and I think I need to really figure out how the lighting will work in reality, because it doesn't appear to be doing, maybe it is, because I have it set for like 1 square, 5 feet. Captain Sniper 10, thank you for the host. It's greatly appreciated. Exactly. How's it going, Captain Sniper? So I think I need to work with the radius of the light and figure out how that works. I mean, if it worked like D&D light does, where you've got like your a low light, I'm doing okay. I mean, I've got to be honest. I can't say I'm doing great. This has been a rough week. My 15-year-old Jack Russell, we had to have her put down Sunday. She was my constant companion, so it's like I've lost a child. Um, so it's been a rough week. But I think I need to play with the light sources a little bit and see how I can adjust them. And I think the issue is going to be that the light, once they're placed, I can't make adjustments to it. So perhaps what I need to do is point lighting, soft lighting, fragments. What is fragments? Maybe the fragments, because let's take a look. That's going out. That's 5 from center, right? I mean, I didn't get rid of her. We had to euthanize her. She had a spinal cancer. And it got so bad that she was paralyzed. We had a wheelchair for her, stuff like that, for about a month and a half. And she went down really fast, really hard. So we had to euthanize her Sunday because she became unresponsive. She was okay, like, first thing in the morning. And then she, an hour later, she was just unresponsive. It was crazy. But maybe this is really what we need. Let's take a look, because normal light radius is what, 20 feet, right? So that'd be more than 4 squares. So that would be what, 10, 20. That's a 10-foot radius, and then it's going to dim and then no light, right? So if we wanted to just run dim light, like some of these are, I think we would run, that would be like a 10-foot radius, and then it would go to dim light. I think we would just need to mess with the light sources. That would be 5 and then dim light. What does the intensity do? Range on that, and then goes out a little bit farther. So maybe that's what we need to do. What does this one do? Range of 2, so that goes out that way. I think instead of the point lighting, this might be the preferable lighting source. I think I'm gonna make a stub map and see how it looks doing that. Or maybe place all 3 light sources in a room, then put a character in there and see how it looks. So that might be the plan. Put them, maybe draw a giant room, place them around, and see what happens. But we're going to leave this as is. We're going to call this one done. I wish I could go in and adjust existing sources, but I don't think I can. Shadows are nice too, the fact that it does all that. So, all right, do one more save, and let's start a new map. Let's do what we said we were going to do. I want to putz around and test these lighting tools. So this is DungeonDraft. I mean, I really am liking this more and more the more I play with it. Let's see if it's all done in one go. Yeah, I was supposed to play D&D tonight, and I called it off with my group. And most of them I know, so they know how crazy I am with my puppy. I say puppy, I mean she's a Jack Russell, so she was pretty much a puppy her whole life. So let's see. Walls and stuff don't really matter. Let's make a big ass room. Let's drop. We're gonna throw this into a test campaign on Foundry, and we'll test it that way. I'm gonna start that up right on the other screen, and then I'll pull it in after we get this thing set up with some. Let's get rid of. I hate snap to grid. Let's take a look. So dim light would be a 10-foot radius, right? Test this out. So we'll go, like we said, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll do one. Really want them touching, so let's see how that lights out. So let's save. I think I'm going to throw it in here just for the hell of it. I'm going to delete all these when I'm done. Let's just do those two right now. Then we'll erase all those light sources and see what happens there. Loopy, how's it going? We're just doing some testing right now. I want to import some stuff into Foundry, and I want to see how these light sources integrate. Call this a test map. Nice and easy. Close. Set up a scene. I seriously hate these line art maps. Hate them in a big, big way. I had this in when I had, basically I had players coming in to see if they were able to log in. My day's doing okay. Someone asked about that a few minutes ago, and have you been in since we lost Ellie, our puppy? Not lost, I mean, she died. So, I mean, it's been a really rough week. Let's open the test map up. I must have hit that by accident over there. So let's bring, tell you what, here's our test character. think we needed a bigger room to see. So, looks like it's doing bright, dim, and dark right there. But I'm not seeing big differential. So let's experiment. My day's doing okay. How about yourself? Let's half a caffeine. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Let's. Are we able to get rid of these light sources? I don't think we can. That's something they need to make so that we can edit those out. So let's do new. Okay. Let's draw even bigger room. How about that? Giant room. Let's drop some light sources in here. The range on that 5. That's what? That'll be 10 across. Torches are 20 feet radius, right? Curious. Let's try this one and see what it looks like. Do 1, 2.5. And then that. I'm curious how far this goes out. I mean, I'm pretty sure we see how far it goes out. We know the point circle doesn't really cut it. That'll be 2. I tell you what, I haven't really slept much over the last month and a half because of taking care of my puppy. So my brain's just not working. So torch 20-foot radius. Dim would be another 20. So that isn't going to do that. Or is that? We'd really need what? Technically, that should be a torch right there. See what this one does. That's set at 8, right? Let's take a look at both of these and see how they look. Export. Yes, I want to replace it. I wouldn't have said the hoe if I didn't. So DungeonDraft import test. Didn't change at all. Oh, I didn't save it. That was stupid. Save. Yes. What the hell is going on? Right thing? Not replacing the scene. Guess we're going to delete the scene. Being difficult. Right now I am clueless as to what is going on here. Is the right file. See it getting replaced up there. It's wonky right now. Figured that out. Save as. Get rid of this. Export. Yeah, I could, but we're gonna see if that took care of it. It could be just something in here where it keeps trying to pull the exact same thing in. Because when I did this with the other scene, there was no issue. See, it's doing the exact same scene. So, do this. Port test 2. Let's try that. Like for some reason it's not overwriting the data. It's pulling the image in. Now, if it brings in the same map, there's definitely something wrong. That one worked. Let's see how these blobs of light work on this thing. Pull a character in. I think there are just going to be some issues with the lighting. We may forego the lighting effects. We'll see. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to make 2 copies of the map. What, Foundry? Or the map making? This is Foundry. This is what I'm replacing Fantasy Grounds with for running D&D. And I mean, Foundry's awesome for a $50 piece of software. And you've got your line of sight there. And what I was showing somebody else, I mean, that was a real simple map that I did. But if you look, I mean, the map was bigger than that. So, I mean, here's everything. There's a wall there. One of the things that is important is your line of sight. It brought the walls in. Now, on a more detailed map, like what I had in the other campaign, brings in walls, doors, whole bunch of stuff. Now, there's more stuff that I'm going to have to configure, but it definitely saves time by bringing that stuff in. See, this is the map I just finished working on, the Under the Villa map. That's the one I just finished building with all the light sources and everything in there. And these doors and all were inside the program. Well, these are my secret doors, so they weren't in there, but the regular doors that you see the doors in the wall, see like here you just see walls, I had to add the secret doors in there. Having the walls import these lines automatically, it's huge. Now, there's stuff I'm going to need to add, and it's because Foundry and DungeonDraft, even though they're separate programs, DungeonDraft creates a VTT file, virtual tabletop file, so that as I draw walls, like here I drew these walls, it creates what it needs to pick the walls and doors up. And I mean, that's what sold me on DungeonDraft for sure. I used to use another one called, what was the name of that program? You look at my Steam account. And I used the hell out of this other software for map making before, because I used to when we played Dungeon Crawl Classics, you just had really bad maps. I mean, it's like old school, almost late '70s style. Dungeon Painter Studio, bam. I used the hell out of that for all my DCC maps that I made. Um, and then I did DCC inside of Fantasy Grounds. Um, so I had to write the entire rule system inside of Fantasy Grounds, which, man, that took me like a month to get that ready to run a campaign. And I had a lot of fun playing that, but I had players that didn't enjoy it because you died all the time. And you couldn't power build. You couldn't power build a DCC character. And that's one of the reasons I started playing DCC, was to stop the power building, because we were playing Pathfinder heavy. And I got so tired of. I mean, let me back up. I used to be the worst power builder ever. Yeah, it does make it easy with the textures and stuff, but this is really easy to import assets into and things. Um, like I was saying earlier, I'm probably going to. I've got, I mean, right there, I've got a 16-inch tablet for drawing and sketching. I haven't used it in a while because I haven't been painting or doing anything, probably for over a year. Um, but I think I'm going to start building my own assets, creating the PNG files, and then pulling them into this software for mapping. I may even, as I get the packs together for using in DungeonDraft, maybe I'll release those or something as I get them done. I'll see. I'm thinking about releasing my maps once I get them done for these adventures too, but we'll see how it goes. So let's start a new map again. So I think the next one I need to do, take a look. But yeah, Foundry. The only thing I'm going to have to do in here at this point is, I love the pause button. It stops people from dicking around in the game. They can't move around when you're saying, hold on, I need to describe shit. I need to take this off of there. Look at that. Okay, so like Foundry, my normal table I play with on Wednesdays, you actually run this as a server on your computer, just like Fantasy Grounds. So for online play, Wednesday nights, since we can't go to the store, they log directly into my computer. They have their characters here, and they play. Right now we're running Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So it's awesome. And I went in, I've set all this up. The nice thing about Foundry as well, you can import your characters from D&D Beyond. So instead of them having to be in on Fantasy Grounds to fix their character, I've set up a campaign on D&D Beyond. I have shared out all my books with them that I want them to have access to. I mean, I never let players have the adventure module, the DMG, stuff like that. But I shared out all the modules that they need to build their characters. I tell them, build your characters. I import it directly into Foundry, and it's there. When they level up, I say, hey, level up over the week. I'll import it in. It's never an issue. So they actually can play online no matter where they are. They could be anywhere around the country. So, I mean, it is a virtual tabletop, but it's a virtual tabletop for online play where they can log in. Now, you have another option if you don't want people to log into your computer. You can use a third-party service, host it on there, and have them log in there, and then you're still running from your computer, so you send the data to there, they log into there. Yeah, kind of like everybody meets in the middleman. But I just let people log directly in, and everything's okie dokie. But it's an awesome program, to be able to, especially now when stores are closed, stuff like that. Well, with this, I mean, the beauty of this is you can import an entire module in from D&D Beyond. So if you own an adventure module, like I own Mad Mage, I'm imported that all in. I'm pulling in all the creatures. Basically, once I'm done messing with the map, I'll start throwing all the creatures and guys in all these rooms. And as they walk in, bam, they're going to see the devils, demons, and all the stuff that's going to be in these rooms waiting for them to kill them. I do like the fact that this has line of sight. And here's the other thing. I know that Roll20, talking to some people that are using it, it had lag issues when I used it a couple years ago. But it seems like they've never fixed it. I moved to Fantasy Grounds, and now that was moving to Unity, the new Fantasy Grounds, that is laggy as hell because it's not optimized. That's the CESP. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Once I heard about this, I decided to experiment with it. It's a $50 program. It's a one-time license, lifetime license. It's worth it. And then the mapping program's another $20, and all the assets I'm using are free that people have made. And like I said, you can make your own. So the fact that this Foundry, I found that the lag is almost non-existent. My players have even said, with the other ones, when we move them, we'll sit there and click and move, and then there's this lag, and then it floats across the screen. With this, it's almost instantaneous that they're seeing the characters moving as they move them. The combat system works pretty nice. I mean, I don't have anything in here to show an active encounter, but it's pretty simple. Like if all the players are on the board, I select them, I activate one of them as hostile, they all turn hostile, and then it creates the encounter. I think they do kind of have a 3D dice option, and that's the beauty of Foundry, is the community system where people can build modules. There's a module that pulls in the 3D dice from D&D Beyond, and you can have that rolling on the table. I just haven't pulled that in, but it is an option that I've seen demonstrated that people use, pulling those. I mean, what D&D Beyond has, like that $15 pretend dice set that you can download now for Avernus. You can roll those in Foundry, as far as I know, because whatever dice you have set on D&D Beyond, they'll roll here. So you just have to have the module. And the modules, all these modules are free. The only thing that it's like I play, bought the dice set because reasons. Hey, I understand. And I just froze up and forgot what I was saying. But the modules are all free. Now, the one that I did pull in is called VTTA, Virtual Tabletop Assistant. There's some guy that created something that allows you to pull in everything. And he's got a Patreon. The free version lets you pull in everything from the SRD and monsters and all that, and set it up for $5 a month, because this guy programs this so that it pulls in everything from D&D Beyond. I had no problem, because it was crazy. Last week, Wizards decided they had some issue with where you put JSON on the back of it. Something was going on funky in the background. And instead of fixing it, it said, we're just going to turn that off. Well, almost everybody, whether you use Beyond 20 for Roll20 for your maps to be able to bring things from D&D Beyond, almost everybody uses that JSON file. And so people flipped their shit. Well, this guy figured it out almost immediately, got it taken care of. I think he left work and went home and fixed the shit. And the guy's crazy. But it's worth the $5 a month as a DM, because the DM's the only one who has to do it, for me to be able to pull that stuff in and make everything work. Plutonium. Let's have a look. Yes, the VTTA pulls everything from the modules, and you can go in. What you'll do is, here, I'll tell you what. Let me see if IV tools, plutonium. Module can import the following data to either the journal directly, a character, NPC sheets, adventures, backgrounds, books, classes, feats, items, optional and variant rules. That's pretty fucking wicked. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I'll take a look at that. But I'll show you, that is wicked. At a Palace, thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Yarhar Fiddle. So let's take a look. Oh, PM2. Oh, I didn't want to. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So with Foundry, what you do, you go in and you have, I moved the instance over there. You set up a second GM account, you know, and you'll log in before your players get in because you don't want them freaking choosing that as their active guy. So let's take a look. So like right now, I mean, I did this already. It's connected here, right? So under the villa, let's take a look. And let me pull up my reference map over here for the room numbers. All right, so B22, that would be the guys walking around, right? Let's see, B20, I know that. That has the 3 imps in it, I think. Did I already put them in here? Cities, under the villa. 20, I think that's the room. Here's a nice thing. This is all the stuff that got pulled in from Roll20 or D&D Beyond. It pulled this in with links. Now watch, if I hit this link, it goes directly to Beyond 20. Now you see here it says import to Foundry. I don't have that monster in there already, but I click that. Now it says Compendium World. Let's take a look. First we'll close this. We'll pull the descriptor in here. It'll create a little log icon, so I can always just go in there and pull that up and read it. But here's the beauty of it. You go over here to D&D Beyond Import, Monsters, Fiend, Spine Devil. Look at the description. See, topmost crate in the middle of the room contains 3 Spine Devils, right? So this was not in here before. Now it is. You go 1, 2, 3. Our encounter is now set. What is this thing trying to do? Let's make that go away. So pull those together. They're going to pop out and attack people. Do this, select them. Now they won't be able to see them. You see how they kind of grade? They'll be there, but the players won't be able to see them. And then all I'll have to do when they come in, if they do whatever triggers that encounter, I'll select these guys again and click that little shroud. The encounter's there. Do the same thing. I would select everybody in the room. That would create this. Now watch. Let's do this. We'll click this where it says toggle combat state. They're now in the encounter. So that created the encounter. All the players would be in there. I can just sit there and roll my initiative, and it's ready to rock and roll. I mean, the price of admission, if you're going to do this, is going to be books on D&D Beyond. But if you already have D&D Beyond, you're set, and then buy your adventures there. Now, if you don't use all the source books, you just use a couple, and you just plan on running an adventure, you're set. You'll have everything you need. And like I said, it isn't like Roll20 where you have to either pay annual or... Yeah, you're golden then. You don't need a server set up for Foundry. They log directly into my computer. I give them my IP address with the colon, with the number after it for which port I have open for that. And they log directly into my PC. Now, I have gigabit internet, so I've got a gig up and a gig down. I don't have speed issues. But it's not really that much setup. I mean, if you have D&D Beyond in the books, it literally pulls all that shit in. All the stuff that I'm doing here with maps is because I don't like... Here, take a look. Let's take a look. So which one have I not done yet? Let's go to Chapter 2. So, Chapter 2. Or Chapter 3, I should say. Let's see. High Hall Cathedral. Is that on here? There it is. I hate these maps. So, the only thing I'm doing, I'm going to the trouble of making maps that don't suck. If you're happy with the maps, everything pulls in and there's no setup. I mean, you would have to, if you're worried about line of sight, then yeah, you've got to put the walls and stuff in. If you're not worried about line of sight, it does give you the option of, setting fog of war and opening the rooms up as you go. Or you could just let them see the whole fucking map. It doesn't matter. It depends on what you want them to see as a DM. I mean, what I used to do before line of sight is I used the fog of war, and then I would open up rooms and sections of the map, and then everything stayed open behind where they were. Yeah. That's going to be the thing. If you're the player, it comes down to what the DM's going to do. You don't have, as a player, you don't set up port forwarding. Here's the other thing. As a player, like with Fantasy Grounds, all my players had to have a copy of Fantasy Grounds on their computer. With Foundry, the only person that has to have the software is the DM. Everyone else logs in using a web browser. So it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't work well with Mac. What's the freaking Mac browser? Because they don't have a lot of WebGL and stuff, that functionality that's needed. Safari. But it works with Firefox, Chrome. I tried Edge with one of my players, and it's a little gimpy. But Firefox and Chrome work perfectly. So that's another plus to Foundry is there's no software on anybody's end. It's like Roll20, and you just log in using a browser. So the only person who needs to be able to set up a port, which if you have the login password to your modem, you can set up port forwarding in like 2 seconds if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, this map sucks. So I'm going to set up a much nicer map once we're down there. But my goal right now has been to finish Chapter 2, all the maps, and I've done that. And I figured Chapter 2, at the pace my players go at like 2-3 hours, I'm set for the next 3 months, map-wise. I'll just got to drag all the encounters on, get those set up, and it'll be ready. And I do like that the encounters on this, they're already set up. I can drop everything on the map. You walk in a room, it's already there. So I'm big on prep. And even with Fantasy Grounds, there was stuff that I had to prep. You always have stuff you've got to prep. And so this has been, since I'm not really gaming, this has been my week of prep. We'll see how I feel tomorrow and Friday. I might get in, like I said earlier, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle going in and playing The Last of Us this week. I might need another week before I'm mentally set. But I mean, this thing, like this DungeonDraft import, that is a module. You can pull in better. It is the life of a DM. I feel like this is even more simple than Roll20. I kind of had a hate on for Roll20 for a while, so I ended up going to Fantasy Grounds, and the beauty of Fantasy Grounds was when you bought a module through them, which it was also the downside to Fantasy Grounds because I owned the books. I have D&D Beyond, and then you had to buy the fucking books again on Roll20 or on Fantasy Grounds. And I know for the longest time, Roll20 was like that. You had to buy the books on that as well, but what is it, Beyond 20? So you can use that, which basically, you see Beyond 20, you can use that on here. You can use the one that I'm using. What is it? VTTA. And then the tokenizer is nice because it brings in like spell tokens. And this is another thing I like. You see down here, it's kind of like if you play WoW and stuff like that. You can, if you have attacks and spells that you use as a player character, you can drop them down there and just click, bam, you're set. So you just have to target your thing, click, your attack goes, rolls, all that good stuff. See, that's the thing. If you have, at this point, if you're using Roll20 and you have D&D Beyond, you should be using Beyond 20 and pulling your books in for free there. But if you've been playing on Roll20 for a while and you've bought your books there, you're double or triple dipping buying the books. And that's one of the reasons that I am moving to Foundry is the fact that I've got the books on D&D Beyond. I'm not buying any more books on Fantasy Grounds. I'm done with that shit. What's ridiculous, Cypher? So I mean, I've got stuff I'm going to experiment with on this, because I want to be able to set up different stuff. So I mean, that's another thing I like with this. It's got a lot of modules that I can import and experiment with before I let the players use. Oh, the hotkeys? Yeah, I mean, I experimented with that with my stub character that I pulled in on that other map. That level 20 that I built because I wanted to test my ranged attacks, melee attacks, and spell attacks. So I set it up as a multi-class character so I could do all that, and it works really, really well. But I'm really excited about using this at this point now. And then, like I said, the only problem I have, and I have the problem whether I'm using Fantasy Grounds or this, I have one player on a Mac that can't log in, and they can't do it on Fantasy Grounds. They can't get through on this. I'm guessing they probably couldn't even get through on Roll20 because this is browser based. They're just basically logging into a server, so there's not an issue. What'll happen is it'll bring up when you click the attack, it brings up a box and it'll say disadvantage, normal, advantage. And you just click on the one that's appropriate and it rolls the attack. And you can set it up so you roll damage after, or it can auto apply damage. If you do like an AoE spell, it allows you to make the attack. The ones that pass the roll and would take half damage, it calculates that, generates the half damage for them. If they have something that if you would take half damage, you take no damage, it does that. It automatically calculates everything in. Ballista Gullyway. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. So it does all of those calculations automatically. The thing that I had to figure out first was combat, but it was just because all of these virtual tabletops, they have their own way of targeting, setting up combat, stuff like that. So, you go from Cypher, thank you for the sub. You are awesome. I appreciate the support. So going from Fantasy Grounds to Roll20 or Roll20 to Foundry, there's always going to be, and thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. There's always going to be some minor difference in combat. So right now that's the learning curve. So my plan this week is, since I'm not playing with my normal group tonight, we did it last week. It still went relatively smoothly, and it was the first night I let them in here. It went pretty smoothly, except for the one player who has a Mac, and I think it's her internet. I think something is screwed up with her internet, or somebody in her house has some type of restriction on the router, because I have 7 players, 6 could get in, including the clicking guy that basically DDoSes me because he doesn't understand computers and makes Fantasy Grounds crash every time we play. If that guy can get in, anybody should be able to get in. He doesn't understand computers. I mean, he understands power button, go to Facebook, and I had to go to his house to set up stuff for him before, and oh my God. But if he could get in, anybody should be able to get in. And this young lady, she was not able to get in. I spent like an hour. I'm like, all right, let's try this. Let's go into this setting. I took her into settings. I checked her WebGL on her setup in her Mac. I checked all of this stuff, and it's got to be her internet. So I told her what we're going to do. I'm going to let her roll dice on her table at home, and I'll play the honor system and believe her because she's honest. She knows that she has really bad luck, and I'm going to I'm going to set up a third character screen, control her character so that everybody's seeing what her character sees. Because you saw, like, once I clicked on the character thing, the lighting, it shows just what it sees, and it takes the map away. So I'm going to set it up so that I take control of her character, and I am going to stream that through Discord, because she's able to get into there, and she'll be able to see the map and say, all right, move here, this is what I want to do. And honestly, it's going to be a hassle, but I'm friends with all my players, so I don't mind doing it. So, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is the only map that Baldur's Gate. Like I said, I've got gigabit. I've got 1,000 up, 1,000 down. I'm directly wired into my router. I mean, everybody else in the house runs on Wi-Fi, and I've set it so that my computer has priority. I just don't tell them that. But my computer has speed priority. Mine will never drop below 500, which is more than I need. And everybody else gets what's left over of the 500 split among themselves, the other 500. So I don't have any internet issues. So, I mean, that's why I had fiber put in, was because I game so much, whether it's streaming and gaming off my PlayStation or playing D&D, which I tell you what you doing, Loki? I didn't even know that he was out of camera. That's my, he's 16 and you wouldn't even know it. He runs around. He's got Jack Russell in him too. And some other type of probably cattle dog. And you couldn't tell. He will, when I let him out of this room, he's going to run outside, run around in circles, and just be crazy. That's why I love Jacks. I love Jacks. I love Terriers. My girl she was a Jack Russell that I lost. She was crazy. And I mean, I wish that she would have gone. I mean, the dream for your Jack Russell is they live to be like 18, 19 years old, and they chase a squirrel and have a heart attack, and they don't have a long, drawn-out death. Well, we didn't get that. She got cancer, and it was really rough on me. My wife, she was. I heard her talking to somebody. She said, in 35 years, I've never seen that man cry, but I got to see him now. And I'm like, yeah, you'll probably never see it happen again. But that was rough. But he's a crazy boy. Yeah, I love my Jacks. So I will get another Jack. Well, it's so my wife, she said to me like last year, she goes, I appreciate that too. She goes, I think you love that dog more than you love me. And I go, that's a tie. And the kids are always like, you love that dog more than you love me. I'm like, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. She was my constant companion. I mean, the jelly cam where it says that up there, that is her. I called her Jelly because she was a jealous young lady, and I'll always keep that up as a tribute to her. I'm pretty sure she was more popular than me inside my stream. I mean, plenty of people came there to see her, but I will always keep. See, let's pull this up. If you're subbing now, everything's called jelly points. Come on, where is this? I hate that, when you get your stuff set up the way you want it, so that you can see everything. The stream manager doesn't let me have stuff the size that I want. But this was my Jelly. She was the first emote. She'll always be there. But one of my mods, they're like, oh, you need to do something about the jelly cam. And I'm like, no, that's always going to be the jelly cam. It'll always be a perpetual tribute to my girl. Yep, she was my best bud. And she was funny because the boys would be in here, like, she would generally lay on the floor next to me, but like Loki, he's back there. If he would get on the bed, she'd be like, you know what? I'm going to lay on the bed because he's there. And she'd go stare at him. She would stare at them until they moved. And then wherever they moved, she'd follow them around the room and stare at them until they moved. She just bullied the hell out of them. And right now, both boys, they're just lost. They don't know what to do without being bullied. But I feel like I've accomplished a lot in the last few days because I set this up. I do think I'm going to redo this map. I'm not happy with it. I mean, it looks okay, but there's some things that I just figured out. Like this, I figured out how to fix that so it doesn't snap. I think I'm going to redo these maps, at least that map. Dungeon of the Dead 3. I think I'll keep that one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably take these maps that I'm making. I have a Patreon I set up a while ago, and I'm going to just set up so that they go there, maybe. What people think about that. But I think I'm going to do it because I spend a lot of time and a lot of work on it. And if people like them, they can get them. If they don't, it's all good. I like how these turned out. I need to redo the haul on these. And I just figured out how to make that work nicer. I have to fix those. But I think I'm going to go back through all the modules that I have. Take a look and see which ones have shitty maps. And I'm going to redo the maps in there because I had a group that we ran, Horde of the Dragon Queen. And we only did Horde. We didn't do Rise. I think we need to think about running that from Rise through. And I played this when it first came out. I was one of the beta testers with this stuff, and definitely need to finish that up if that group wants to get together again. I may get another group together for streaming D&D sessions during the day. I can get a group that's consistent for 2 hours at a crack and go through and play something. I've killed my my Sunday game. I really like having my weekends to myself. Plus, I smoke a lot of meat on the smoker, so weekends are for cooking. But I'm pretty happy with this. So I need to start dropping all the encounters in this from the first one out. Go from there. Kids pestering about food. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna go in and start setting up all of the encounters on this stuff. Let me answer this. I'm waiting on a call from a rescue. Hello?